Hi everyone, it's nice to be here in this very bright Sunday. The fact that you guys come here and willingly to waste your morning sleep time is very precious to me, because at least I'm not suffering alone. First, let me introduce myself properly. I'm just a average college student from Public Administration, Fakulty of Sosial and Political Science, Sebelas Maret University, Fitri Ana Rahmawati. Okay, so what do you think of when you hear the word illness? Flu, diabetes, cancer? Does it make you feel sympathetic towards them? But what about when you hear the words depression, OCD, or anorexia? Some people, as soon as they hear this word, automatically think weirdo, neither, psycho, get over yourself. Mental health is subject we all, whoever we are, still instinctively avoid, at home, in the workplace, and in our communities. It tends to be brushed under the cover. Teachers and our parents are unlikely to talk to us about mental illness when we are young, and we all fear the unknown. Today, far too many people in this country still feel as if they have to pretend they have something else wrong with them when they are struggling with depression. People can be scared to tell their friends, intimidated by the culture that still surrounds this mental illness, scared into silence. And it's not just their employers, it's their family and friends who don't know how to react either. But they too are illnesses, just like physical illnesses, but mental illnesses. Illnesses which are not belonging to a nutcase or a weirdo, but normal people who are suffering an illness not of the body, but of the mind. Illnesses that, like physical illnesses, can be treated. However, so many people can't walk away, turn their backs on people who are suffering with a mental illness. They find it hard to talk to the person, want to ignore it, and hope it will go away. It's such a shame that there is so little understanding and compassion toward these illnesses. So, why are people so accepting of taking paracetamol for headache, the pill for acne, insulin for diabetes, but think it's an embarrassment or a failure if you are given antidepressant? At the beginning of 2014, the government published a plan that expressed their ambition to reduce mental illness stigma and enforce mental well-being. They said that mental health must have equal priority with physical health, and that everyone who needs mental health care should get the right support at the right time. There is still insufficient support within the communities for people with mental health problems. They agreed that so much more could be done to promote good mental health and prevent mental illnesses. At least 1 in 4 people will experience a mental health problem at some point in their life. Do you realize that almost every house has some sort of connection with a mental illness? A lot of the time this is kept secret or not even discovered. Yes, secret is a mental illness you cannot physically see it. Stop the stigma and the stereotype, be aware, be supportive. I know that if we work together, we can stop stereotypical judgment and help people get the support they need. We need to bring awareness to an illness so close to each and every one of us. There are more people affected than we realize, so stop the discrimination and do something about it now. If you've taken the time to come here today, I'm sure you'll agree that there's a huge gap between the way mental health and physical health are understood and treated. Even in relatively advanced countries, diagnosis is poor and treatment is inconsistent, and there remains strongly little education about mental health. The result is that mental illness still carries with it a real stigma, and there are still a lot of common misunderstandings about mental health in our society. Lack of education means that many people still have a fundamental misunderstanding of what mental illness is. For many people, mental illness is still something characterized by strange, erratic, or dangerous behavior. So the vast majority of mental health problems, those which don't fit the stereotype, often stay hidden or go unrecognized. Because a depressed person's behavior doesn't fit the stereotype, there's a belief that their illness is somehow less real or at least less serious. It is too easy to dismiss a just sadness when in fact it is truly different. For some people with depression, they are unable to feel anything at all. Some people have described it to me as like being sad and alive at the same time. To an outsider, it might seem like the remedy for sadness is happiness, and that a depressed person needs help taking a more positive outlook. But that simply isn't the nature of the illness. It doesn't follow that logic. I think that the biggest and most important challenge we face in improving mental health is overcoming this misunderstanding. Too often, mental ill health isn't recognized because it isn't seen as an illness at all. We need to reach a point where the general public understands the nature of mental illness. The more we do that, the better diagnosis, treatment, and social attitudes we'll get. I look forward to a day when we no longer have scars of flowers and cards on the list because people in our town have felt so helpless and desperate they have taken their own life. And I look forward to a day when there is true parity for mental health service. But in the meantime, I wanted to end by talking about what we can do here today. We can all do our own bit to educate ourselves about mental illness, the experiences of those who have suffered from it, the road to recovery, the way we can be supportive and help people toward the recovery. We can explore our own knowledge of mental illness and recognize the gaps, things we do not understand and things we have yet to learn. We can educate ourselves and start to think about how we can be more welcoming and more understanding. A peer friends or neighbor or a colleague to people who is going through a tough time in their life and who may need someone to turn to. We can make sure that the person doesn't feel isolated, afraid or ashamed because of their illness. We have a number of fantastic organizations here today who are all available to share their knowledge and answer questions. If we all live today better informed that we are arrived, we will all be in the better position to make a difference. This is how we change, one person, one day at a time. So the conclusion is, I don't remember people talking about mental health much when I was growing up. Times were different, the problem hidden even deeper under the surface. I am proud to live in a country where the taboo has been challenged by some, to live at a time when some people are beginning to speak out. But I know that not enough has yet been done. I know that far too many still suffer in silence, or work in offices and factories not set up to help, or live in communities with far too few services, or feel isolated and alone. The next layer government won't be able to put all this right overnight. Silence in our culture are hard to break. We can't prevent all mental ill health. There are not cures for all conditions, but we can help change the culture in our country. We can insist that everyone counts, that everyone matters, and that no one dealing with any form of illness should even feel ashamed. That's how you bring real change to our country. That's how you build one unity. Thank you.
Like the kitty